All right, everybody, welcome back to Fast Track Unplugged, episode 2. We're going to stay in power rankings. We're going to move to the Pro LITE class, which is wide open. A lot of things to talk about here, a lot of fast rookies, a lot of good veterans, some in-between guys. This is kind of neat class because you get a lot of privateers in it, guys that are trying to make it, trying to find their way into factory semi, all that kind of stuff. So something to keep in mind with the Pro LITE class heading into 2023-2024. The top 4 in points from last year all moved up to the Pro class. So that is LaBelle, Evan Doubt, Riley Bester, and Marcus Ogamar all moved up to the Pro LITE class, or the Pro class, which is really good to see. That's how it should be. The top guys should move up, and so that makes this an interesting mix. We're not gonna have a returning champion. We're gonna have an interesting mix of new fast guys and old fast guys. So let's get into it. Number 10, a bit of a wild card, but when you look at it, it's really not. Number 10, Jesse Kirkmeyer. So, again, one of those privateer guys who really did good last year. I thought he adapted well from the bike to the sled. And you got to understand that was a lot of his focus. It's just him, his dad, his mom, girlfriend, that kind of thing when they're at the track. They are getting some factory help, I believe, from Polaris, just on some clutching and tuning and some basic setting stuffs. But I know they're coloring outside the lines a bit. So I think if he continues to progress, shoots for top 5s, becomes a top 5 threat, kind of puts himself in position deep in those finals, he'll have an interesting year. Could be a year where he surprises a lot of people, and I'd look for him to come on the up and up. So Jesse Kirkmeyer, number 10. Number 9, Eric Downs. Now, as deep as the field was last year, Eric did a really good job of making a lot of the finals. I believe he ran most of them. And he was a guy that, may not have always started at the front of the pack, but even when he was deep in the pack, he had good fitness. It looked like he would be able to come through the pack a little bit, kind of keep his composure, stay on the sled, and there were times that you ended up seeing him finish relatively well. And that held up for a pretty good points in the end. So, as long as his fitness program stayed good over the summer, I believe he's back with Polaris, so be an interesting year to see how Eric returns. Hopefully, he can take a step forward and move on. Number 8, Anson Shield. So a big change for Anson, moving away from Cat with the all finish team, kind of boxing it up, and he moves over to shearing. So. And he's ran Cat his entire life. So an interesting move. He moves to a powerhouse. He's the Pro LITE focus. He had last year's rookie, he had a ton of speed. He led quite a few races. He was kind of the guy that would let it loose. There'd be a triple that nobody would really be going, and he would just send it. So it got him in some trouble a few times. Just he needs a little bit of consistency. But boy, if he puts it together, that look for the second year guy to really be at the front of the pack. Obviously, like I said, with shearing, he's got a lot of tuning expertise behind them. So the sleds will be good. It's going to be kind of up to Anson to really perform. So look for some good stuff from Shield. Number 7, Adam Ashlin. And I have a bone to pick with Snocross and the kind of the industry. Adam was the sport champion 2 years ago now, and did not have a ride going into last year. Why is it like that? Can you imagine the Supercross Futures kid not having a ride? I mean, it's kind of like the Montana Jess thing that we saw quite a few years ago. But when Adam didn't have a ride, he went to welding school, and obviously there were some injuries, and he got called up. His fitness was, he needed to work on that. But I mean, without knowing you're getting a ride, without doing that preparation, and he showed the speed. He always had it. He was making Pro LITE finals. I just did not understand that. I don't understand how Snocross allows that to happen. I mean, you have a star in the making, and we're just gonna let them walk away. It's not a good model. So he's another guy that I have that has a lot of potential to just shoot up power rankings because he didn't get to show his full potential. He's going to have a full preseason this year. He's hopefully been working out. His fitness program hopefully is good. I believe he's with Elite Motorsports, which is the new Skidoo camp. But yeah, I think if Adam comes out, like I said, if he comes out double podiums, he's going to shoot up my power rankings. Number 6, Drew Freeland, one of the first of the really fast Pro Lite guys. So Drew won the Pro Lite finale last year in Iowa. When we had a few of the Pro Lite guys jumping up to Pro, and then we had guys like Drew Freeland jumping into the Pro Lite class from Sport. And I think Drew showed that he was very capable. He ran well in the heats, and then in the final, he stuck around. A lot of sleds had issues, whether they were blowing belts or blowing motors, whatever was happening. But he kept it together. He's on the same brand as the ones that were blowing belts or blowing up, and his stayed together. So it'll be a learning year for him. He's going to have some stuff where he'll look real fast and make mistakes, and as long as he learns from those, man, he showed a lot of speed last year. So look for him to do really well this year. Number 5, Kenny Mandrick. Kenny moves to Flipson Racing. I don't know how to say it. They're actually just down the road from where I live, but he's going to have a full 2023-2024 preseason. If you remember last year, he was with a cat team. He was riding up at Shearings, and then it all fell apart. So he was kind of on the sidelines, and then he got called by 1-3, moved over to riding a do. And yeah, it was just kind of an odd year after having a very good privateer sport campaign. He looks as fit as ever. He should be a strong start, especially with getting some riding in, having a good preseason. I think Kenny's got the stuff to really make a title challenge. He should be a top 5, top 3 guy, and really solidify himself in the class, and hopefully moving forward. The old 102. I do have Kenny and I did trade jerseys here quite a few years ago, but I got the hang in the garage. Number 4, Andy Pake. So a couple things with Andy. Number 1, is he racing? I haven't seen anything. I assumed that he would. I know that they were running a privateer program last year. He is the highest returning, if he comes back, if he's racing, he's the highest returning Pro Lite racer in points from last year. He finished 5th in points. So I felt like he always shows a lot of speed. He's also a bit of a sendy guy. Last year he moved from cat to do, kind of the same deal as Shield, where his family's name is in the green, but you got to go, we talked about it with Dan Benham last week. You got to go where there's some development and the sleds are making some steps. But with that, he comes from a family of racers and tuners, so they had it pretty dialed for him last year. I know we got to watch him up in Valcourt. He's pretty dang smooth. Just needs to work on the consistency thing. I think if he was, there's times when he came out and would, be putting LaBelle kind of under fire, and then there was times that he would come out and run 8th or 9th. So if he can figure out how to put it together every weekend, it would be a scary Andy Pake. But somebody let me know if he's racing. I'm interested to know. Number 3, Evan Christian. So we've got very few Polaris guys on the list because there's so many Skidoo teams. But also it kind of seems like very few Polaris teams. But when you think of it, Evan is the guy. Evan is the factory Polaris Pro Lite rider. He's the one. Like I said, you have Kirk, you have Eric Downs, you have, I forget that other guy from Thief River that I saw at Wii Fest, but Evan's the guy. They got the new trailer. They got all the big stuff. He's got the big trainer. He should be a title contender because he's Polaris' focus. So I look for him to do big things. I think that he can be a constant podium threat, and he could put together a year that's really going to affect the championship. So I really look forward to it. I hope he runs really well. It'll be a fun year for him. Also, with Evan, he gets a pro teammate in Where is he? In Oscar Norm. So I think that will help him. And like I said with Jesse Kirkmeyer, Jeff Torgensen is the crew chief for the KC Motorsports Group, and he likes to color outside the lines. I know Polaris has that deal where a lot of them work together, but Jeff likes to color outside the lines, and the KC sleds are always coming off the starts really hard. So, they're going to continue to do that. I think they're going to continue to test themselves, and get it figured out. It'll be interesting if he can get up front and constantly be a threat. Evan should mount a good threat for the title. Number 2, Kadin and Dylan. This is the other really fast rookie. We saw him up in Valcourt when we were racing. Just super smooth and fast. He ran the Pro Light class up there, obviously, but it really wasn't even a competition. He would have won the Pro Light finale last year, but he blew a belt or had some sort of issue at the end of the race. And he's Thien Racing's sole focus at Pro Light class for them now, with them moving on from Ogamar. A lot of big changes for the Thien crew, but Kadin is staying there. And dude, I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, but hit me up. I will. I'll make sure I get that corrected. Dude's gonna be fast. He's gonna be a title contender. He's gonna have the same learning curve that Freeland's got, so he's gonna make mistakes. But bear with him, because if the dude figures it out, he will be a championship threat. Number 1. It hurts me that Nick Lorenz is not on a Polaris anymore, but I'm happy for him. So, Nick, it is the year. It is time. You've been in the Pro Light class for a long time now. A lot of changes for Nick. He's moving to West Coast Customs Racing. They're on Skidoos. Like I said, he's been on Polaris, I think, his entire life. But he's got everything. He's got, he's in that factory trailer. He has been in factory trailers a lot. He's got the big sponsorships. He's got the big trainers. He's got all this stuff. Gotta make it happen, man. You gotta prove that you need to be on a factory pro sled next year. Needs to win the championship relatively handily. So look for him to come out strong. He'll try to take the red plate right away, right out of Ironwood. And, we'll see how it goes. But look for Nick to really, really put it together. Like I said, I'm happy for him. We text and talk more than people know, which is still probably not a lot. But he's a good dude. But, it'd be interesting to see how he adapts to the new sled, new team. The West Coast Customs team they're good. Jesse's a really, really smart guy. He's going to have them prepped and really raring to go. So needs to be the year. He's going to be the guy that everybody should look for to win the championship. So just a deep field. Man, that Pro Light is going to be fun to watch. It always is. But again, Jesse Kirkmeyer 10, Eric Downs 9, Anson Shield 8, 7, Adam Ashlin 6, Drew Freeland, the rookie. 5, Kenny Mandrick. 4, Andy Pake. 3, Evan Christian. 2, Kadin and Dylan. And number 1, Nick Lorenz. So again, appreciate everybody tuning in. Go to my website, BlaneStevenson.com. We got a lot of cool merch. It's actually sitting right here. We can dial you up. Let me know what you guys think about the Pro Light class this year. I think it's really deep, but I want to know what you guys are thinking. Who's your championship pick? What's going to be the podium in Ironwood? Follow me on socials at Blaine Stevenson, and I appreciate everybody tuning in to Fast Track Unplugged, episode number 2.